So I'm here with a nail polish review today. You guys been seeing me wear this color for weeks now, I think. This is by Law Beauty Essentials. I got this in an Ipsy bag, actually, in the color Purrrrplicious. Yes, there's like 5 R's there. And I like that they have a little window in the back where you can actually see the bottle so you can see the exact shade. That's a nice touch. So this nail polish is labeled as 100% vegan-friendly and toxin-free. And when reading about it on Ipsy, it's 5 free, which means of like the big 5 scary chemicals that are in a lot of more typical mainstream nail polishes. This doesn't have those. So that's always a nice thing. So let me go ahead and get this out. It's got 11 milliliters or 0.37 fluid ounces, so this is a good sized bottle, honestly. What I find interesting though, when I tried to read up on this particular brand, it leads to a Shopify store. So it kind of feels like it's a startup, and they only sell the one product, just nail polish. They have 21 colors plus a top coat, but all they do is nail polish. But that's okay, because, you know, everybody's got to start somewhere. I'm not opposed to startups, but here's the bottle. It's just got, you know, the logo, which is Law Beauty Essentials, and again says 100% vegan and toxin-free. And literally nothing else anywhere on the bottle, like, you know, the name, which would have been nice, but, you know, if they are a startup, they gotta start somewhere and maybe feedback, you know, just a little sticker on the bottom with the name would be great. But anyhow, one thing that was interesting that I almost missed when I first got this, thank God I read the box really closely, this is not the cap. This is a facade to make it look nicer. You take that off first. It just makes it look nicer. Now it honestly almost looks like a little squirt bottle or something. But, no. This just makes it look nicer and fit more squarely in, like, a makeup drawer or whatnot. But that is entirely for looks. Do not twist this. You will break things. Don't do it. So it has a warning on the bottle about that. So here is your actual cap. It's just got the little ridges on it, little indent on the top, 3C, whatever that means. I think it's some type of recyclability, I think. And it's just a very standard nail polish brush, as you can see. It's a very opaque nail polish. I was actually really surprised by this, because generally it doesn't matter what brand it is. I know I'm gonna have to invest some time to put down 3 coats to get full coverage of maximum color. This brand, you only need 2. And I know a lot of brands claim that, but it's not really true. If you want it to look like it looks like, you have to do a 3rd. Or to get like full opacity and no streaky spots, you have to do the 3rd. No, this one legitimately only takes 2, which, you know, anything that cuts down on that time is wonderful for me since I work with my hands, and any time that I have to wait on them to dry, it's time that I can't work. So, I mean, anything that cuts down to minimize that is a good thing in my book. But the other thing that really blows this out of the park for me and just stands out head and shoulders above most of the rest, usually when they're 5 free and vegan, there's a trade-off. And that trade-off is the dry time, going from like a standard dry time to suddenly you're going to be sitting here for freaking hours waiting for this shit to dry for even like 1 layer. And then you gotta do it more times for each layer. Not with this guy. Not with this guy, and I freaking love it for it, and I kind of want the entire line of them now, even though they're a little bit spendy, but you know, for that dry time, if they all work like this, it might just be worth it. So I'm going to show you. I only have 1 coat down on this finger because I had to redo it, but I left it with only 1 layer down so I could show you guys on camera how quickly this dries. Let me just show you, alright? So I know I'm doing this off camera, but if I try to do it without balancing my finger on anything, it's going to be everywhere, so. Alright, so, this finger is now wet. It is shiny wet. We can see that. I'm gonna keep talking, and I'm going to point out when it's dry, alright? So, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but just saying, this is with the 2nd coat. The 1st coat dries even faster than this does, and it shocked the hell out of me. But, yeah, anyway. So that's usually the trade-off. Brands like No Miss, which, I mean, I grew up with them. They were the first nail polish I ever owned. Unfortunately, they trade off, and, like, one coat took frickin' all day. Granted, in winter, but still, that should never be a thing, for it to take all day for it to dry. And I have seen that with other brands. I saw that with Lottie London. I've seen that with a bunch of other brands that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I have them, but they're just sitting around because I don't like investing that much time in waiting for them to dry. I have one Essie polish that does that. I don't think it's true of all Essie, but that particular one, it's guilty of. You know, anything that takes a super long time to dry, I am not here for. It's already getting there. It's already getting there. It's not as wet shiny as it was. I know it's hard to tell on camera, but it's not as wet shiny. It's still a little bit, but it's already solidifying. That is insane. But I'm not gonna touch it yet because I can tell if I do right now, it'll still smudge. But still. Anywho. Sorry, I just got a Twitter notification. I got distracted. But, yeah, these cost $9 a pop, so they're a little bit spendy, but I mean, compared to some brands, that's still cheap. I mean, I've seen certain brands that I've gotten through Ipsy. Certainly I would never throw that kind of money at them, that were like more than $20 a pop for one bottle. That is insane to me. I generally buy drugstore brands because I can afford them. I don't have a traditional job, so I don't have a whole shit ton of money falling out my butt to just throw at makeup. As much as I would love to be able to afford the higher brands, but I just don't have that kind of money. So, if it's cheap, I can do it. It's on the brink, but I mean, there are certain bottles of OPI that are $7 or $8, so I'm like, if I can justify that, I can justify $1 more for something that's both healthier and dries a crap ton faster. It's dry. It's dry. No smudges. It's dry. Just saying. That's why I want to do it on camera to show that couple minutes, done. You can do another layer on top of it. It'll be done just as fast, top coat, and you're good to go. That is magical to me. That right there is the only reason why I'm like, you know, it may be $9, but it would be $9 very well spent, just saying. And for the fact that it's healthier than a lot of the brands, that also makes me feel good about it. I really hope that they branch out and start making more colors. I like the ones they have, but it's not the widest range really out there. They have a lot of, like, really, really dark colors, which, I mean, some of those I like, but when the bulk of them are really dark, it's like, do you have any mid-range? I mean, I'm not usually big on pastel. This, for me, is a rarity, but usually I'm not huge on the pastels. Right now it's spring, so I make an exception, but usually, like, you know, the mid-range, the brights, I like those. I mean, certain dark ones, jewel tones I like, but these are, like, dark on a lot of them, so I'm like, I'd like to see more that bring up the color a bit, you know, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Still, of the stuff that they have, there is at least a few that I would definitely be interested in investing in, just because I cannot get over that dry time. And it's not like the trade-off for that dry time is that it chips off super damn quickly, either. Because I've seen that before. There was one brand that I was singing the praises of on here, and it dried really quick, but within 2 days it would flake off entirely. This isn't like that. This stays on just as long as any other nail polish that you would use. Like, at least a week before it starts to chip. That's pretty good. So, anyways, I personally, my only issue at all with it, other than that it's a little bit steep price, but it's not outrageously priced, is that there is a chemical smell from it. Even though it's 5 free, there is still an odor from it. So, I mean, it's not a horrible one. It's not the worst, but I mean, it's kind of unavoidable with nail polish, but this one, it's kind of stinkier than some. But I've also noticed that with some of the 5 free ones, which is really weird given what they don't have. You would think they'd smell less, but I don't know, but personally, I would give this a 4.5 out of 5 rating. The only thing that would pop it up that last little bit is if the price tag were a teeny bit lower, and if it smelled a little bit less. But other than that, this is wonderful stuff. I would highly recommend it to you guys. Oh, and that it should have the name on it somewhere for the color. But other than that, no real complaints. This is very good stuff. I very much have been enjoying it, as you've been seeing with how much I've been wearing it lately. And when it dries that fast, you know, if one chips, I don't mind redoing the nail just on the spot, because it'll only take a few minutes to have it perfect again. So, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and give this video a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe. Hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. If any of you guys tried this brand, what did you guys think of them? Love them, hate them, mad about them? Let me know, as well as anything else you feel like leaving me. Make sure you're following my social media accounts. They're all listed down below. And if you like what I do here on the channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. So anyway, guys, till next time, bye-bye.